Good afternoon, all, and welcome to webinar series organized by Parul University. Today we have among us Mr. Madhav Soni, who is graduate from Nirma University with BTech in Chemical Engineering, and got campus recruited in BSF from Nirma University. And he is also worked extensively in different function of BSF like different process engineering projects, commissioning, HR, production, and responsible care for safeties. Spent also most of time in BSF working in the division of polyurethane for same or other functions. Started Flores area and new flooring is our forte. So, sir, now share your knowledge with us and give the information about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs and how to your start your journey about entrepreneur. अपना डाउनलोड का है.
Is it over to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Parth, you are not audible enough.
Yes, sir. It is
Yes,
visible.
Sir?
Sir, it is visible.
I'm not getting your voice.
Start the session.
Yes, it is.
Just confirm it is over to me.
Yes, it's over to you. Over to you, sir. Hello, Madhav. Now you can start the session. Hello. We are not able to hear you.
Everyone, and thanks, Miss Prabha, and obviously the Professor Parth. So let me start by introducing myself. Obviously, they've introduced you. Who am I? But let me do it once again. I'm Madhav Soni. I'm basically a chemical engineer. I've graduated from Nirma, and then I used to work with a company called BSF for quite a few years. And then I started something on my own, which is a Floresia. So, Parth, next slide. So let me tell you about the Floresia first, because since it is my journey and I'll be talking about my journey as well as few things on entrepreneurship. So I want to focus on Floresia first because I'll be talking few things about Floresia. So Floresia is a comprehensive flooring solution. So if you can see the term Floresia, so it's a combination of two words, flooring and Panasia. So Floresia, that is how it has come across, Floresia. So we serve almost all kinds of flooring, be it residential, commercial, industrial. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. So you can see that we serve 360 degree of a service bus. The first picture is a residential, second is a commercial, and third is the industrial. Below you can see that we do almost all kinds of flooring, be it a gymnasium flooring or a sports flooring, or hospital flooring or a clinic flooring. You name it, and we have it. So that kind of concept we have for a Floratia. Next slide, please. So these are some of the products we do serve. These are not the limited products, but these are the most running products, be it vinyl, PU, laminate, solid wood, engineer wood, linoleum flooring, carpet flooring, decorative concrete flooring, cork flooring, rubber flooring, and etc. So these are the products we serve under our Floratia brand name. Next. So without further ado, I'll start with the entrepreneurship stuff. So the first question would be, I'll be keeping it very basic for you guys. So what is an entrepreneurship, or what is to be an entrepreneur? Next slide. So if you see, the word itself, entrepreneur, has come up from a French origin, and the meaning of that is to do something. Now, you see your sabji wala, your doodh wala, your kirana wala, your pasti wala, everyone is an entrepreneur. But what we'll be talking about today would be a new age entrepreneur. And the new age entrepreneur has to do something with the problem solving part. So it is to do something, to solve something, or to undertake something, some kind of problem. And those problems not necessarily means a deep-rooted technological problem. It can be any problem which you come across on your day-to-day life. We face many problems on a day-to-day basis. You can take an example of a power bank. So almost 10 to 15 years back, we didn't have something called a portable battery to charge our phone. If someone would have not thought about that thing to have something portable, we wouldn't have been using power bank right now, right? So the problem could not be a deep-rooted technological problem or a mathematical solutions. It could be anything, and that is to be solved, be it your product or be it your services. Next slide, please. So before going further with how you can do that, or how we should do it, let me tell you about my part, what I've been doing with the Floratia. So what kind of problem do we solve? So we found a problem of an obligation. So what kind of problem are we solving right now? No obligation problem. That means be it any product, you go in the market to buy a refrigerator or a vehicle or a mobile phone. Now you go to a different brand showroom, and they'll show you some or other kind of product. Now the thing is, they are obliged to sell those particular brand or those particular products because they have only one or two products with them. Now you end up buying something which may or may not be suitable for you, or sacrificing one or another feature. Now Flourish, as you have seen in the earlier slide, we do have almost all kinds of flooring with us. You come to us. For example, if you have a flooring requirement at your home or industry or commercial space, you come to us. We have a different brands. We know, because we are expert in that. So we know that what is suitable for you. You are not obliged to go with one particular product, because there can be multiple products suitable for a single application, right? So that is the kind of problem we are solving with the Floratia part. Go back to the previous slide. Yes. So that was about my journey. So I'll be talking few things about my journey also. So that was the problem we are solving, and that is about the entrepreneurship. Now I've talked about what is an entrepreneurship. Second question would be how we should tackle if we have the problem, if we are sure of the solution, that this is the solution, how we should tackle that. So that is the how part. Next slide, please. So I call it idea to implementation. So it is making things happen. So you have the idea. Now, how do you implement it? So for me personally, I have divided that procedure into a 7 stages or a 6 stages. It could be seven, it could be six. So I'll be talking about those stages right now. Next slide, please. Yes. So the first stage would be an ideation stage. So it is but obvious that you need to have idea to start something on your own. So it is idea generation or idea creation or inventing something or finding a problem in something and then working out on that. That is called a systematic approach or a process driven approach. So those would be ideation part. Here I would say something which is a pro tip from my side, what I've been working quite well with me. You can see the right hand side picture of a sticky note. So about the ideas, I would say that at the end of the week, you might find that you have number of ideas, you have come up with the number of solutions. Can it be worked out as an enterprise or can it be a profitable business or can you be an entrepreneur out of that? That only you know after second or third or fourth stage. So for that, I would suggest that you keep sticky notes. You keep sticky notes with you. You write down an idea you have come across any time of the day, and you just stick it on your wall or on your desk or even in a book where you keep your thoughts. So that would, after 1 week or so, that would help you that these many ideas are created. So now let me work on those ideas. Second stage, next slide. So second stage would be to make it a workable model or to work out on a workable model. So now let me tell you about the Floratia, about my journey. So I am confident expertise lies in polyurethane. In my previous organization, I used to work with the polyurethane division. So my expertise lies in polyurethane. So after quitting my job, and even I was on my job, I found problems with the polyurethane part. It is being used in varieties of applications. So what I found, there are a few problems which I think I can solve. So I've found all those problems on a sticky notes. Those were, I remember, 37, 38 problems. And after deducting each and every one out in the second stage of workable model, I come to a conclusion of a Floratia, meaning that not every problem can be solved, or if it is not feasible enough, we should not be solving that. If it is not profitable, we should not be solving that. So flooring was the part where I think that I can go across and come along. So I worked on the workable model of flooring part, where I've divided a macro idea into a micro steps. Say for an example, driving a car is an idea or is a macro stuff, and you need to divide those into a micro steps, like holding a steering wheel or gearing up your car or pressing a clutch and brake pedal. So those would be your micro steps. Third stage would be next slide. So obviously, it would be an implementation, which is the most important part of the 6-stage ideas or 6-stage procedure. So how do you implement it? Now, as you can see in the picture, think, plan, and act. So this is the acting part. So you have come up with an idea. Now, second part, you have worked a workable model, that how would you address those problems, be it your product or services. Now comes the implementation part. Definitely, if it is something new, no one would pay you something out for your new idea, but you need to have a patience and you need to find a customer, a group of customers, or even a single customer who can pay you out or who can understand that you are solving some or other kind of problem with the product or services. So here you would implement that on a single customer just to have some feel about it. And then comes the fourth stage. Next slide. So here would be the fourth stage that talks about the feedback part. Now you have come up with the idea. You have worked on the workable model. you have implemented that solution to one of the customer of a group or a customer. Now you ask them honestly that what is your feedback, that how can we improve upon our services or our product. Like for a case of Floratia, when I started out with the Floratia, I have kept more than 70 products in my portfolio. But when I actually started applying those, and when I started meeting potential customers, those customers was the key to reducing my portfolio from 70 products to 55 products effectively. So I took that feedback and I implemented it. So that is your fifth stage basically, but is very important. If your customer is happy, if it is neutral, or if he's not happy, you should understand that what need to improve upon. So the next slide. So the fifth stage is improvement, refinement, or you can call it fine tuning. You have come up with a solution, so you are the master, right? But there need to be some kind of improvement that your customer needs, because every customer has a different needs. So here, those small improvements would come into picture, or refinement would come into picture. You need to fine tune your product or services based on the feedback. Next slide, please. And then you are good to go. You have come up with an idea. You have worked out on your workable model. You have implemented it. You got the feedback. Now you know that what kind of fine tuning you need. You fine tune your product or services. Now the part is scaling up, or going into a bigger market from a smaller market. And you can use multiple medias over here, like digital marketing, or advertisement, paper advertisement, mouth marketing. Also, you can go and meet your potential customer one-to-one, and then you can tell them that I have one past paying customer who was happy with our product, and we did some kind of fine tuning, and now we are ready to go for a bigger market. So this would be your sixth stage. Next slide, please. So yes, here you can see this ideation to scaling up and again ideation. So I've kept it a continuous cycle. So entrepreneurship is all about this. This is a continuous cycle. You might have one idea, but you need to make it workable even more and more and more. Improvements are never ending. So if you follow this path, the success is definite. But this is a systematic approach. I think you must follow the systematic approach, and you will be saving a lot of time, if not the money, because time is the money. So this is my model. This is my theory, which has worked for me quite well. So I hope this works for you too. Next slide, please. So, okay. So we talked about what is an entrepreneurship, or how we should tackle that. But the main question is, apart from earning money or profit, which should not be your final target, why it is important. So if you can see in the first picture of that guy holding the bar, which is it helps economic growth. So more the entrepreneurs in the country, or in particular region, economy will grow. Second part would be it creates job. Like when I was working for some other company, I was an employee. But when I started working on my own, obviously for 1 or 2 years, I was the one-man army. I was doing everything on my own. But then I started creating jobs. So right now I can proudly say that I'm the one who is not actually feeding. I'm paying a few guys to work for me. So creating jobs. I'm creating jobs for the community. So this is the second advantage. Third advantage would be a competition. So as you guys are a student, if you don't have a marking system in your classroom, you know that no one is going to work. But since it is a top 2, 3, 4, 5, top 10 students, you need to work harder and harder and harder to get to the top of the ladder. So that is the thing, that more entrepreneurs, it's more competition. There are obviously passive points also, that it reduces the prices of the products and features of the product. This is the features of the products. But yes, competition is the main key. So you would get more competition in the market, hence better product and less prices. The fourth would be, which is quite essential for me, red light, yellow light, and green light I've shown you here. You consider a crossroad where you don't have a traffic signal, and you imagine a condition over there. So this traffic signal keeps you in check. So entrepreneurship for me, for so many other people also, it is like it keeps you in check. It gives you discipline, time management, people's management, event management. There are so many material management. So there are so many things it teaches you, and it keeps you in check. And that's the reason I've used the traffic signal picture over here. The next thing would be the monopoly part. So right now, if there are very few products in the market, in Gujarati or in Hindi, we call it Ijaro. So if there are very few products in the market, we are the puppet of the product supplier or service supplier. More entrepreneur, if we have the idea, if we can implement that, and if we have the broader product or service portfolio, that would create a non-monopoly market in the market itself. And the last one would be that guy is helping another guy to climb over that ladder. So it is feeling empowered. It is feeling empowered to help employees, the person who you are giving job to, and the customer you are serving to. So it is to be feeling empowered about that. So that would be the last thing why you should take on the journey of an entrepreneurship. Yes, there are so many other reasons also. You would be getting money out of your product or services. But I would give an example of a food delivery service over here. Say you want to order a food. You go out before this food delivery service came into picture. You go out. You wait in the line, you wait in the queue, maybe you wait for the period your food is being prepared, you come home and you eat that food. Now for that hassle, food delivery services are giving you a service at your home with a fraction of money. So 15, 25 rupees is not a big deal for you to go out, wait in line and come back home and eat your dinner or lunch. So something they have come up with a solution that people want to eat at maybe bachelors or single personals, but they have found a problem over there. They've taken that, and we are paying for them. So problem. When I talked about the problem solving part, not necessarily means a very big problem. For Floresia, I keep on telling people that. Obligation is a big problem for me and for so many people, that if you are obliged to buy something or other thing, you are not a happy customer. But if you have the choices to select from, you will be a happy customer. And I feel proud to offer them a variety of services, obviously the flooring services to them. And so far I've got almost 70-75% of a repeat customer, which is very good, by the way. And those are happy customers based on their feedback. So next slide, please. So, okay. These were all the things about entrepreneurship, my journey, and you should take this on or not. But here, I would like to say a few things about my personal experience. I call it a pro tips. The first is books. I recommend books like anything. This is not a spiritual webinar, but a Bhagavad Gita would be a nice example to give, because so far in my life, it has helped me out. If you are a businessman, if you are an entrepreneur or a layman, books will help you out. Obviously, those books don't have this definite answer of your problem, but it will guide you through that. So here I would like to suggest one book for you guys if you want to read that. And that is, obviously, it is a common book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But so far, I have found it so interesting and so helping. and I keep on recommending that book. So you can have a look at that. I would be suggesting few other books on startups also, like a book called Sprint. But I'll give you I'll give the list to Miss Prabha to share it with you. Those are 10-15 books I follow personally for my business. The second thing is networking. You can see the right hand side image. Networking, I think there is a term, network is a net worth. So I can give you an example that me and Miss Prabha, we are connected on LinkedIn. So we never knew each other, but we came across on a platform. And right now, if I'm giving you this webinar, this lecture, that is because of we are connected over there. So you never know the benefits of network over the period of time. So I would suggest that you go and meet people, be it your alumni, your seniors who are in job or even are in business. Go and talk to them. You would find that yes, theoretical things which are being taught in school life or college life is a bit different than actual practical life over in the market. So I would suggest that do networking. Network is a net worth. The third thing, the below picture, left side picture is what, why, WH question words. If you have seen my present, I've kept it simple. Back to basics. Don't complicate it. That is the only problem that we complicate things. Just keep it simple. What, why, how. Those will give you the answers you need. Fourth one I would like to say is about the focus part. If you have the clear focus, don't waver around your mind. I would give an example of myself that when I started Floresia, I think I'm confident enough in a subject called polyurethane. People used to come to me and they used to offer me some or other thing to work upon. But if I started working on that, I wouldn't have worked on the Floresia as much as I did on the Floresia. So take one thing and work upon that. There is a theory called 1,000 days theory, particularly for a business, that you need to see at least for 1,000 days that if it is worth pursuing or not. You can't be sure in 1 or 2 or 3 months that your business is worth pursuing or not. So 1,000 days theory, it is almost 3 years. So you need to wait at least for 3 years. There are some practical reasons also, like attrition and all. But keeping aside those reasons, you need to work for at least 1,000 days if you are really solving some or other kind of problem, be it a product or service, as I'm saying continuously. So yes, this is from my side. These pro tips and all. If you want to ask me something about my journey in particular, I've kept it simple. I didn't want to confuse you guys with so many technical terms. But if you want to ask me something, I'm here for you guys. So I'm open for question and answer. I think I've wrapped it up very early right now. So next slide, please, which would be a thank you slide, I suppose. Yes. So thank you, Ms. Prabha Parth and Parul University for giving me this chance.
Okay, thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. And sir, one question is that
Yes, if you could write in the comment section, because I'm really sorry, I'm not able to hear you out.
thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. There is one question. Question is, what are the reason for failure of entrepreneur? For entrepreneur failure reasons. Hello. 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 Sir, can you hear my voice? Hello? Hello?
Parth, I'm not able to hear your voice. So if you could write in the comment section or in the chat section.
Can you hear me, Madhav?
Miss Prabha, I'm really sorry I'm not able to hear your voices. So if you could write in the comment section or chat section.
Okay, we'll write the question in the chat box and you just give the answer. Just once repeat the question.
So if there are any questions, you can write in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer that. Sure. See, okay. Reasons for startup failure. So, first of all, a startup or an entrepreneurship, the reason for failure, as I've told in the pro tips that 1,000 days theories, people think that it's a quick bite. That if I've come across some or other kind of idea or a solution that must work in a few days or few months. I don't think that is right. If you guys can understand me speaking in Gujarati, આપણામાં કહેવાય છે ગાદી ગરમ કરવી જરૂરી છે. That means we need to give some time for a business to heat up and work. That is the exact translation. But no, 1,000 days. I think 1,000 days is must. You must give your business at least 1,000 days to have at least some kind of statistics to work upon. So that is the main reason I think startup or any business fails. Second is focus, as I've already discussed, that people are weavering around some or other ideas that right now they are doing this and later on or in the daytime or in the other time they'll be doing some other thing. No, I don't think that works. You give 100% to only one thing, and that's the key to your success. Market strategy, it depends product to product or services to services. Say for an example, I'll give you my example. Floratia, which is a flooring solution. So for me, in India, we have almost 130 crore population. So all of them are my customers. But I can't go and serve them directly. So for me, my potential customers are designers, say interior designer, architects, and consultants. So to target them would be my market strategy for my product. So depending upon different products, if you have a consumer goods or a FMCG market is a consumer good products, right? So if you have the in a nutshell, it depends on different product and services. So I won't be sure to give you an exact answer. What should be your market strategy? You can reach out to me if you have something in mind. You can take my mail ID from Miss Prabha, and I'll be happy to help you out. Yes, I totally agree. The market works on obviously economy part. So I'll give you example of Floratia over here. So you know what I've did with the Floratia, that I've divided my services in three categories. One category is a stellar category, which is way too high pricing and way too high quality. The middle one would be an economy quality or product or services, which is for layman people, and the standard, which is for the people who are not able to afford the economy products. So yes, there are few ideas. If you're going to, I would suggest over here that there is one season or series called Shark Tank. So if you follow that on Netflix, there are few videos on YouTube also. So you will find that people are coming and asking for money in the Shark. You just type Shark Tank in the your YouTube or Netflix channel, and you would find. And another one is Dragon's Den. So these are two things, and you would find that yes, there are so many ideas which are the product or service price is quite high, and people are not able to afford it. So that is an issue. But yes, I think for us, being an educated or an engineer, we must try to find something which is sustainable in nature. So higher price is not a solution, but how can you reduce those prices and make it even bit premium, but make it affordable to a final customer? Feasibility of a product development, engineering, design. Again, without knowing the product or service itself, I won't be able to answer you on the feasibility part. But there are companies, if I'm guessing this is the right question, there are companies right now, there are startups who are helping you develop a few products, which is called a prototype, even if it is a hardware or a physical product. So if you come across some product like this glass, but you don't know that you want to produce 1,000 or millions of it. So if you want to produce one or two of this thing, they'll help you out with the product development and designing part. So feasibility, I don't know if I'm getting your question right now correctly, but this is what is my answer. So again, how to manage time for startup with other stuff? Other stuff. What do you mean by other stuff? If it is personal or family time, it is not that hard. Obviously, you will be able to manage that because market is from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 only. So before 9 to 6, you can manage your time. But I would say that if you really want to deep dive into the entrepreneur stuff, you need to give your 100%. Yes, I'm talking about sacrificing your work-life balance, but you need to give 100% to your work. Yes, work-life balance also must be there, but I think it is manageable once you start it. You will get the jinx of it. You will get the it that how would you manage your time for your particular product or service. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Prabha. Thank you for this opportunity. And I would like to say, this: if you guys think, and if you found this interesting enough, you can go ahead and see. Basically, we are on every social media, so you can like, share, and subscribe our channels. We do post regular content on. Obviously flooring only, but if you want something on entrepreneurship, you can ask Miss Prabha, and she can give you my mail ID or something, and I can help you out with that. Yes, please. Okay. So I already Exactly. So I already shared this that when see my expertise or my experience for all of the years I worked in BSF lies in the subject. Yes, correct. So that lies in the subject called polyurethane. So I started working on so many ideas for polyurethane, and finally, from the stage two, I've started working on the workable model part of each and every idea, and I found that few of the ideas are not even worth pursuing. So flooring was the thing which I think was the S upon every one of the ideas I came across. But yes, it may not be feasible from market point of view. Yes, if the product or service you are coming up with is totally new in its totality, you may find that it is not feasible. But before trying it on some or other customer, you won't be able to get the idea because this Floracia, I would proudly say that we are the only one who is having this kind of a concept. The industrial guys won't be, interfering with the residential or commercial guys, and the commercial guys and residential guys would not be interfering with the industrial guys. But we do have three of them together. So it is about my passion that I want to do that, and how am I doing it? It's another story. But yes, it is feasible. You just need to put some extra effort to it if it is your idea and if you are passionate about it. And one more thing. Yes, exactly. So I was going to tackle that point only, that there are so many ideas. So ideas are in abundant. It is only about yourself, that how would you like to do it. You are really passionate about doing something with the particular idea, don't think about the market size or feasibility or something, because that would be answered in a short or long period of time. Yes, I'll talk about that. How should they go with the same? But I was talking about the idea part, that there are abundant of ideas. So this is not about you are having an extraordinary idea and that must work out. But no, it is about having a small idea or a small solution, and how do you approach that? Even if it is a small idea or a small solution, and if you approach that with 100% of your time or 100% of your energy, 100% of your passion, I think it will work out. And how should they go with the same after the study? I think see the answer lies in obviously just after their study. I think they are very new to the market. So either they should, if they are interested in some or other part of the study or field, they should have an internship. Say for an example, if someone is keenly interested in concept like me, or like a flooring, they could come up to me and they can be honest about that I need an internship, maybe paid or not paid, that's a different question. But if I see he or she is passionate about that thing, I'm happy to help them. So there are people in the market. If you think you are passionate about some or other thing, you go bindas, you go and meet those people, and they'll be happy to help you out. So yes, this is how you should go. How we can manage finances stuff, because okay, so here I would like to tackle this. If you know the term bootstrap, so I'm Florecia, or me myself, I'm totally bootstrapped. I haven't got finance from either a bank or my family or from someone else. So if you really want to do something, finance is not an obstruction. I would say that if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. how much would you need for your business to start? Not more than 10-15,000 rupees, and I think that is not a big amount. Yes, if you need some kind of machineries and all, there are some ways, like you can take it them on rent. You don't have to buy them for yourself only. So starting something, or starting a business, I think that is not money trouble, I suppose. So for a financial part, I think that is not an issue. For me, I've started with only 25,000 rupees. So I think that is not an issue for any one of you guys. Not be an issue. And if you think your idea is that great and you are pre-sale level, that means you about making this kind of glass, and you think that you don't have money to produce this glass, and you go to the manufacturer or someone who is into this business. If he or she would like your idea, they would obviously invest in you. But for initial thing, I don't think that is an issue.
Okay, thank you, sir. It was very nice session, and also students get good knowledge about entrepreneurship. So, behalf of Parul University, we thanks
Thank
to
you,
you.
Miss Prabha Parth. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, I had also a good time talking to you guys. I'm very happy to share. If you need something else, you can always reach out to me on my phone or on my email ID, and I'll be happy to help you out.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, close your screen, sir. No problem. Hello, Madhav, sir.